Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen McIntosh, the happy lawyer at McIntosh Law, and today I would like to talk to you about the cost of delaying your estate planning and why you shouldn't delay your plan. So, as I mentioned, I am Kristen McIntosh and I am an estate planning attorney here in Garner, North Carolina. And look, I know life gets busy. I mean, who here on here is not extremely busy? I know half the time I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and I barely have time to even remember, oh my gosh, maybe I need to eat something, or oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. Thank goodness for to-do list and for, text and emails. But, we don't always have those reminders with us. And when it comes to estate planning, because we are so busy, and let's face it, who really wants to talk about death, dying, and disability? I don't want to talk about it. I certainly don't want to think that, there may come a time when I may not be able to make legal decisions for myself, or, that eventually I'm going to die, hopefully later as opposed to sooner. But, I don't want to think about it. And I know you don't want to think about it. So it's so easy for all of us to push that estate planning, task off to the side. We just say, well, I'm just going to put it at the bottom of my to-do list and I'm going to do something more fun on here. But I want to take a moment here to talk about why delaying this important step can have serious consequences for you and for your loved ones. You see, every day that you delay your estate plan, the risk increase. Unexpected events can happen at any time. And that's why they're called unexpected. It's the unplanned. We all think we're going to, live to a ripe old age, and one day we'll just go to sleep, we'll close our eyes, and, we just won't wake up. Well, that does happen for some people, but the reality is it's not going to happen for most of us. Things happen all the time. Just pick up your local newspaper or turn on the news or check the internet and you'll see a story about a head-on collision that killed an entire family, or a hurricane came up and somebody was swept out to sea. So a plane crashes. Anything could happen at any moment. We're not promised tomorrow. And when the unexpected does happen, if we do not have a plan in place, then we put our loved ones at a disadvantage. They could end up facing unnecessary legal battles, higher taxes, and the stress of not knowing your true wishes, because memories fade. People are different. All of us are unique individuals. We all have different opinions from our siblings and from our parents. And we have different recollections as to conversations we may have had with our loved ones. So when someone dies, arguments can quickly ensue, and we don't want that to happen at all. Imagine that your family, is dealing with a loved one in the hospital, and that loved one ends up passing away. Okay, now you're already going to be dealing with grief. Maybe you're angry too, because, hey, I wasn't ready to let mom go. I don't understand why this is happening on here. I thought she'd be around for many more years. It's just not fair. And, you're also sad because now your mom's not going to be there. She's not going to be the person that you can pick up that phone and call and ask for advice. So as you're dealing with that loss, if someone doesn't have an estate plan in place, now you're facing a mountain of legal challenges that could have been avoided with a little preparation. Because now all of a sudden, everybody's at a loss. You may have one person who says, hey, I was supposed to get that set of dishes. Mom promised those to me. And then you have another sibling that says, I don't know what you're talking about. I do not have a recollection of that. Or worse, you have a third sibling who chimes in, no, 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 I was supposed to get those dishes. And then we have chaos. Then we have, oh my gosh, how are we going to divide up things? Well, mom would have wanted us to divide things equally. Oh no, 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 mom had given you a lot of things during your lifetime, so, I'm to get the majority of items. These are conversations that could occur and that I've actually witnessed occurring when someone dies without a plan in place. And it's not fun, folks. It's not fun for the family members. It's not fun for the attorney who's having to deal with it. It's not fun for the bystanders who get dragged into these fights. It's not fun for the probate court that has to resolve these issues. It's a lose-lose situation. And in fact, sometimes these arguments can cause rifts in families that can destroy them. And you know what? I've been there. With that unexpected event happening. This is a picture of me with my dad, Mac. Mac was a workaholic all his life because he was going to work hard. And then when he retired, he and my mom were going to go on all these vacations and do all those things that they never had time to do while they were, working. Well, shortly after my dad retired, he had a stroke. He was found passed out, slumped over a steering wheel on the side of the road. Luckily, some good Samaritan finally stopped and got him to the hospital. He was unconscious. We do not know how long he had been slumped over the steering wheel. He was unconscious and in a coma for 3 days, and it was very touch and go. We were going through a lot of emotions and feelings as a family. Luckily, my dad did pull through. He did lose his ability to speak and is paralyzed on his right hand side, but he's gone on to live, 20 plus years now. But this story could have had a more tragic ending. He could have died of that stroke. And that stroke was an unexpected event. We didn't know it was going to happen. We didn't plan for it. What we did was we sat there, luckily he had his estate planning documents in place, but, Mac had gone to the doctor a day or two before he had a stroke, and he had been given a clean bill of health. There was no indication that he was going to have a stroke. This was just a perfect example of an unexpected event. And like I said, luckily we had those documents. Luckily, Mac had gone in and he had taken the time to sit down, write out his wishes, and also, who we wanted to be in charge of making those decisions for him. So I do know what could happen when we least expect it. I'm a living proof of that. And it caused me to rethink, how I was running my life, because I used to be a workaholic too. And, I still kind of am, but I have tried to work, a lot more work-life balance into that. But be that as it may, as an estate planning attorney, I've personally seen the heartache and confusion that can arise when an estate planning is delayed. I've seen families torn apart. I've seen assets lost and legacies forgotten, all because there wasn't a clear plan in place. I have seen family members that are still not talking years later because of what they had to endure by the fact that their parents didn't have a plan in place and the siblings just ripped one another apart, because grief's going to affect everybody differently. Some people are going to go right into that anger mode and they're going to be stuck on, hey, going back to when they were 2, mommy loved you best. When you were 2 years old, this happened. It happens, folks. I've had grown adults in their 40s and 50s sitting at my conference room table rehashing these things. Everybody handles grief differently. And the really sad thing in all of this is all of the fighting and the confusion could have been avoided had mom or dad simply had an estate plan in place. Sure, there may have been some hard feelings. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and lie and say everything's going to be fine and dandy if you have an estate plan, but at least you, as a person, have expressed your wishes and who you want to carry out those wishes. People may not like it, but they know it's what you wanted and they're going to carry through with it. So I just urge you, by having an estate plan, it's going to make things so much easier. We don't want our loved ones to have that anger and turmoil and ripping one another apart. And it doesn't have to be that way. By taking the time now to plan your estate means that you're ensuring that your loved ones are cared for and that your wishes are honored no matter what happens. I can't think of a greater gift to give to my loved ones so that there is no guesswork. They already know what I want. This is what we call peace of mind. And wouldn't you agree with me that your family deserves to have peace of mind when you pass? Don't you agree that they deserve to know that everything that you worked for will be protected and that they won't be left to sort through that confusion during a difficult time? They're already going to be sad. They're going to be grieving. They may even be mad, as we talked about. But at least they're going to have a plan, your instruction book for what you want to happen, who you want to be in charge, who should receive what. This is going to give them some peace of mind, because when someone passes, we go into fight or flight response. That is just human nature. That is the response all of us have to any type of adversity. And we want our loved ones to be able to grieve us. We want them to be able to say, hey, it's okay. I can cry. I can yell. I can take time to grieve because there's a plan in place. And I don't have to sit there and worry about what mom or dad would have wanted and am I doing the right thing. I don't have to have fights with my siblings as to who should be in charge because it's already in that plan. But when you delay your estate planning, you are leaving your loved ones at risk. You're placing them in a potentially vulnerable position, a position that could lead to a lot of excess heartache that they didn't have to have in the first place. All because you just said, I'll get around to it tomorrow. And then tomorrow never came. So please, get your estate planning done so that your loved ones can have that peace of mind. I can't encourage you enough to not wait. Please do not wait until it's too late. The cost of that delay is more than just financial. It's emotional, it's personal, and it's entirely avoidable. All you have to do is reach out, pick up the phone, call your estate planning attorney, and make a plan. So take that first step today. As I mentioned, reach out, pick up the phone, get on the internet, shoot an email out to your local estate planning attorney and say, hey, I want to work together to create a plan that's going to protect what matters most to me, my family, my assets, my legacy. It's so simple, and it just takes a couple of minutes to make that call. That's the first step. The second step is to actually show up for that meeting. Sit down with that attorney and talk over your wants and needs to make sure that you are going to create a plan, not only that's going to cover your situation today, but that's going to grow with you as life changes, that your plan is already going to have contingencies built into it. Maybe you're single right now, but you want to have a plan that's going to cover what happens if you get married and you have children and grandchildren. What happens if at a future date your spouse becomes disabled? We want to make sure we've got a plan that's going to cover all of that. If you need help and you're in the Garner, North Carolina area and one of the surrounding communities or anywhere in the state of North Carolina, I'm happy to help you get that a plan in place. My contact information is, phone number is 919-336-4219. My email on the screen is Kristen@thehappylawyernc.com, and you can reach out to me through my website at thehappylawyernc.com. That website, I have lots of videos and blogs and all kinds of resources for you to give you some information. And if you're not here in North Carolina, then reach out to a local estate planning attorney in your neck of the woods. Most estate planning attorneys are going to offer free initial consultations. Not all, but most of them will. And again, be sure to like and share this post. as well, or this video rather. Even if you already have your estate planning attorney, maybe there's someone who's been putting it off and who's been delaying it. So this might be a great opportunity to forward the video on to them. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, of course I would encourage you to do so that you can continue staying up to date on various estate planning topics. I thank you so much for your time and attention here today, and hopefully you've learned something helpful. And if nothing else, don't delay. Get your estate planning done now. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, and until next time, stay happy.